These freaking fountains, yeah, those fountains are magical. I never thought a mustache would be that handsome.
Bro, the ending of this movie can suck my dick. It's so, my God, dude, like, he loses his mind, motherfucker, really, but it's so accurate. Like, that's what would happen to a man of war, you know? It's something that no one talks about. It's the same as, like, when you see these fighters, they're gonna lose their mind at some point. Like, God bless them, like, fucking for everyone's, in this point, it wasn't everyone's entertainment. It was everyone's fucking freedom. But anyways.
So just look at the veil between the water.
Oh! Okay, so straight away, one of the reasons why I think this scene is probably one of the most special ones, not only in the whole movie, but probably one of the most special scenes we've ever seen in our lives, is because it's very difficult to sort of interpret sounds and visual cues because everyone...
Simultaneously, yes.
Yeah, also everyone has different interpretation of things. Like, for example, you know, when I see greenery, I don't necessarily think of... let's just utilize an example, right? Like when you see flora and fauna in movies, I don't necessarily think brighter scales. Personally, I think of Mixolydians. I think of much more darker scales. But for some people, they might fucking think of fairies or some shit when they're, fireflies and all this stuff. When they think of flora and fauna, they think colors, flowers. I don't. So when you look at a movie that has resonated with so many people, and they have been able to depict through musical notes and the musical score perfectly what the environment might sound like, and what the representation of feelings, and
intentions, hidden subtext. I think that's what's so clever about this movie. Right. That at first glance, yeah, it's a great historical telling of the love story.
I do know it's not accurate. It's not very accurate, but it's entertaining nonetheless.
Entertainment. But I love that the subtext here is so prevalent. Like everything about this, every symbol, every element in the scenes has a reason for being there. And in this particular case, I love that even the sequences in which she's offering herself, letting him know that she's there for his entertainment.
Well, she's traveled thousands or hundreds of...
He has. This is in her kingdom.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah, so the thing is like she's welcoming him into, this is my world and I'm gonna take you by the hand. It make you see the magic of it as you sit there and watch. And I think that there's a beauty behind that. But I love that even in this sequence, it's segmentalized. So the introduction of her coming into the main center of the stage is actually veiled by the water. There's other elements of dancers in the background throwing colors in the air. There's set building, twinkly lights and kind of like chalk flying around. And all of these things are just kind of playing with the idea you haven't seen her yet. Yeah. You haven't seen her to the maximal extent. And now you have. Now you're about to. And then focus. You see? Brilliant. Oh, it's just so brilliantly timed.
Nothing in this fucking movie, man, like it's done by, like it was luck. Like from the minuscule drops in beats, you see the explosion in colors. Yes, of course, that's probably the most obvious. But they're not so obvious ones are these ones. So the tabla has a very peculiar, what would you call it, attribute to itself. That it actually, and I did research this thanks to you guys, it actually was there's histories in mythology in which gods would communicate through the tabla, through the sounds of the tabla. I don't know if it was gods or if it was this parable of this person in the forest, but someone's thought of this. It's not just fucking me who've clocked this. So
it like speaks, the rhythm speaks.
That's right. It has a high tone and a low tone, right? So
he breaks reports and sometimes he holds it. Yes.
So listen to the I wish I knew what each fucking tabla was called, but I don't, because I'm, learning still. So she has juxtaposed the low end of the tabla with a high movement. That's fucking genius. Because that's essentially who they are as people.
Yes. They are the opposites of each other, correct?
Yeah, both religiously, different kingdoms. He's fucking wed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's fucking great.
It's
like,
brilliant.
everything is fantastic. Again, I don't know what instrument that was. Let me hear it again.
But then you see the water bubbling,
yeah, I don't
and
know.
it makes you believe that
I don't
that's
know
how
what
it
that might have
sounds
been. You know, like if this was a Western composition, you probably would presume this was a chimes. You know, it means Spanish. The actual literal translation would be curtains, but I think in English it's called chimes. In India, I don't know what the fuck they use for that. It pisses me off because I guess my feelings are not matched up yet, or my enthusiasm is not matched up yet to my knowledge. But yeah, obviously the glaring of the water is the representation of the chimes, I guess. Let's call them for that for now.
She's so flirtatious and inviting though. I love that. Have a moment. Let's pay attention to the singing phrase in this particular part.
Just a Shreya Ghoshal singing, by the way.
Yes.
Fuck me. How could we forget that?
It's just a perfect combo. Deepika as the face, Shreya as the voice. It's just so good.
Probably one of our favorite, it seems, sort of combinations of...
actresses and singers.
I wonder if they feel like that as well. Like,
Definitely.
When they look back at some of these pieces, you know, and they sort of look what they have achieved. Obviously, Shreya in India, this very popular concept, like being a playback singer, and they look at the work that they've been able to do, because she's essentially being Shreya, and Shreya is essentially being Deepika. I wonder if when they look back at their work, do they really feel the magic as well that all the audience felt? They've obviously partnered up before, a lot now. So I don't know if she's spoken about it, but do let us know if they have spoken about that sort of partnership they have.
It's interesting. Like I said, in this particular singing phrase, you have a lot of mystery, a lot of mischief, kind of like carrying through the subtext and the melody. And the melody is actually just as mysterious. It's just as deceiving. You really don't know what you're about to get yourself into. And I think the mystery and like the uncertainty of the singing phrase itself is really prevalent in this particular entry.
Mate, what it is attraction, because that's what attraction means, is curiosity.
Yes,
you're attracted to something if you're curious about it.
But this is not just curiosity, because the curiosity has been ignited with the veiling. You can't really see her face right at the beginning, and I find that that's what the curiosity lies. But in this particular case, you're kind of like seeing, you're gonna jump through hoops with me. And I like that.
It's gone beyond curiosity. It's now attraction.
Oh, nice.
That's what I think it is, right?
But listen to it. You see? Unpredictable. It's brilliant.
I don't know if that's a bansuri, the flute, or if it's not. Okay, so then we have a break from vocals, right? Which are really intriguing again, because given the fact that it is a Sargam, right? You would presume with Sargam, given that it's so highly percussive, right? It would maybe perhaps only be utilized in moments, and not of tenderness, but moments of conflict, moments of action. But again, this is why this is such a really, really good piece. You can utilize rhythmicality to also signify things like your heartbeat, excitement, forefront of moments. You can justify emotions which they are linked to positive emotions, but you can feel nervous and anxious to meet the love of your life.
I do think, Efra, this is actually a foretelling of the war that comes with the two of them, the conflict that comes with the two of them. getting connected, like understanding that their attraction is beyond just attraction, that they're about to make decisions that they will maybe regret, maybe think that they could have done differently. And in this particular case, this Sagam section, to me, it reflects that the forthcoming of conflict, the forthcoming of the consequence of this pairing. It's not just the flirtatious.
I think you might be correct.
Essence of it,
because if you look at just look at some of the freeze frames. One of the most what would you call it? Consistent elements in the whole movie is actually water.
Correct.
Again,
we talk about it
in the review.
In depth. Yeah.
Water is a really interesting element in movies. It can be used for many metaphors and many meanings: purity, rebirth,
abundance,
God, cleanliness. It's been used in many forms in cinema. In here, you are of course seeing it's not a natural, it's a man-made stream in a fountain which has beauty. The beauty aspect of it is really important to me because beauty shows purpose. You don't make something beautiful unless it wasn't made. Very few things only in nature kind of have beauty. And that's actually, I think it's an argument, it's a theological argument for the existence of God. I learned it in philosophy, Beauty being one of evidence for the existence of God in philosophy. And here, given the fact that sort of religion is such a big deal in this movie, you can utilize this or perhaps derived meaning that because it is so perfect, everything is so perfect, but also man-made. The juxtaposition to that would be, and that's what the Sagam represents, war, conflict. There will be turbulent waters and not streamlined, perfect, beautiful streams that you have manipulated somehow. No, that you're seeing right now.
Yeah.
What you're seeing right now won't be forever.
Well, I actually, if you deep it, if you go even further with that analogy, the fountains are manipulated by men. So the essence of it being done purposely, manipulated in that sense, it's a foretelling of the manipulation that happens later on between the women in the story.
Notice how the fucking water is actually, I didn't notice this until now, it's present in every fucking shot.
Every shot. Yes.
Every shot, be the foreground, background. Holy fuck.
Yes, it's everywhere. It's great.
Such a banging song as well.
Also, the break on the fourth wall is so prevalent. Oh, look at him. Whew.
There isn't one bloody shot where water isn't prevalent.
Whipped.
All of them.
He was bewitched and bewildered by this woman.